Well, hello there and welcome, folks, to another episode of 162 Times, your daily baseball recap and preview show. I'm your host, Daniel Turner. Great to be with you. Bringing you the action from Saturday, September 21st. Do you remember the 21st night of September? The end of summer is here. It's a beautiful fall day in Ottawa on Sunday morning. And we've got Mariners-Rangers action to talk about from last night. We have Mariners-Rangers action to tee up for later this afternoon. We also have a busy out-of-town scoreboard to talk about. We got to talk about the standings, so we might as well get right into it. And last night, the Mariners won again. They beat the Rangers 8-4, 80-75. Those Mariners are now second in the West. Rangers dropped to 73 and 82, third in the West. Emerson Hancock got the win. He did a great job. 4-4 now, 4.72 ERA. It was Chafin for the Rangers who took the loss. 4-3, 3.64 ERA on the season for him. Mariners put up 16 hits for 8 runs and no errors, whereas the Rangers had 12 hits for 4 runs and 1 error. It was a good night for Hancock, as I said. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 3 Ks, and a homer. It was Dane Dunning who was pressed into an emergency start. He was called up from AAA Round Rock the day of the game to pitch, and he went 3 2/3, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a homer given up for a 5.36 ERA on the season. But it was Chafin, the reliever, who took the loss. He pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks. Then it was Jose Leclerc, not Felix Leclerc. I knew there was something wrong with that. Jose Leclerc, who went an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. Robertson did an inning with 1 walk. Pennington did 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. And Gabarito had a third of an inning with 1 hit and 1 strikeout. 10 strikeouts on the night for Ranger pitching. For the Mariners, out of their bullpen, it was Troy Taylor, again, looking pretty good. Not his best outing, I must say. He went 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 2 Ks. He had to be relieved. Colin Snyder did the job, came in 2/3 of an innings, 2 hits, and 1 walk. Then Saucedo came in and got 2 big outs quickly, courtesy of a nice diving stab by Dylan Moore at first, and then a nice play of his own on a comebacker up the middle. That got them out of that inning, and that was crucial. Austin Voth came in, 2 hits, 1 K, but no damage done, and Bizardo, again, 2 hits, 1 K, no damage done in his final inning. So overall, 4 walks and 7 Ks for Mariners pitching. M's were 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position, but they did leave 12 on base, which left something to be desired. The Rangers also left 12 on base and were only 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. In terms of your scoring, I got it started with top of 1, Julio Rodriguez, his 19th of the year. He's hotter than the sun right now, which is good. This has happened to him in his career before, where he goes on insane tears, and now is the time to do it in these final 8 games. 1-0 Seattle after 1. Not after 1, because Jorge Polanco also singled in Randy Arozarena in that same inning to make it 2-0. So 2-0 after 1. However, Josh Smith got them both back in the bottom of the third with a homer, scoring Travis Jankowski to tie the game at 2. But top of 6, Julio Rodriguez drove in Dylan Moore with a single, made it 3-2 Seattle. Cal Raleigh then singled in Josh Rojas, made it 4-2. That was in the 6th inning. And Randy Arozarena, third single in a row of the inning to score Julio Rodriguez, made it 5-2. So 3-run lead after 6. Bottom of 6, Rangers got a few back. Ezekiel Duran singled, scoring Wyatt Langford 5-3. And then Travis Jankowski walked with the bases loaded to make it 5-4. That's when they brought in Snyder to replace Taylor, and Snyder got out of the rest of the inning. So then it was a bit squeaky, right? 1-run game. But top of the 9th, Victor Robles gets on base. Then he steals second. And then he stole third and scored all the way from second on a wild pitch. So it was his 31st steal of the year, stealing third base, and he just kept on going, and he came right home and scored, made it 6-4. That was great. And then Julio smacked a single into left field and scored JP and Dylan Moore to crush any hopes of a comeback. Made it 8-4 at that point. That was really, really good stuff. Add-on runs there for the M's. So Julio was 4 for 6 with 2 runs and 4 ribbies. That's at least 8 or 9 RBI in the last 2 games, and I want to say it gets even better than that if you go back a few more games. Like I said, he's pretty hot right now. 6 for 4. 4 for 6, pardon me. That's really, really good. Polanco was 3 for 5. Turner was 2 for 4. Rosarena was 1 for 4. Raley was 1 for 4. Like, the lineup is hitting. Crawford, 2 for 4. Dylan Moore was 0 for 3, but he scored twice. So, really good stuff by the boys. All right, out-of-town scoreboard. How did that stack up against what everyone else did? So we'll get through the scores in the order of the start time of the game. So the Reds beat the Pirates 7-1. The Nationals beat the Cubs 5-1. Now the Tigers beat the Orioles in 10, unfortunately, 6-4. So no ground made up on the Tigers. Rays beat the Blue Jays 3-2. Mets beat the Phillies 6-3. Braves beat the Marlins 6-2. Giants smoked the Royals 9-0. So that's interesting because the Royals now dropped to 82 and 73. So coming back within striking distance of the wild card chasing teams. The Astros managed to beat the Angels for like the 9th time in 9th games. And I mean, can you just imagine if the Mariners had beaten the Angels like more than once out of 12 in their last couple months? Like this whole season would be totally different. But that was a 10-4 final for the Astros. Diamondbacks over the Brewers 5-0. Cardinals over the Guardians 6-5. Padres over the White Sox 6-2. Yankees smoked the Athletics 10-0. Dodgers lost 6-3 to the Rockies. And the Twins and the Red Sox were rained out, so they're going to make up that game today. So I think they're playing 2 games today, the Rockies and the Red Sox. I'm sorry, the Twins and the Red Sox are. So really the only bit of good news, I think, was the Royals losing. And the fact that the Red Sox and the Twins have to play twice today, I'm not sure who that really favors. But the Twins have an outstanding bullpen, so I don't know. I don't know. My punditry isn't, it's not that deep, so I don't know. It's hard to make up any ground on the Astros. It would have been nice if they'd lost a game to the Angels. But maybe the Angels can do everyone a favor today and win a game. Let's check out the standings before we preview tonight's or this afternoon's game rather. So yeah, the Astros are still 5 games up in the division, and that is 155 games played. So there's 7 games left. It's going to be hard to make up 5 games in 7. The Astros are going to have to lose to the Angels tonight. The Mariners are going to have to win all 3 games in Houston, and then it's really, really hard to do that. The wild card is far more interesting. So in the American League, Baltimore still has a 4.5 game cushion. They're not really threatening anyone. The Royals now only have a half game cushion in the second wild card spot in the American League. The Twins are in the 3rd spot, and they are half a game up on the Detroit Tigers, and then again a game and a half up on the Seattle Mariners. So the Mariners are a game back of the Tigers and a game and a half back of the Twins, and therefore only 2 games back of the Royals. So they got to just keep pressing and keep playing well. Now, if Julio plays as well as he can, then this could get interesting. The Mariners are 7-3 in their last 10, so are the Tigers. Twins are 5-5, and the Royals are struggling. They're 3-7. Royals are still still hosting San Francisco on Sunday. Twins are at Boston today for 2. The Tigers are at Baltimore to wrap up their series, and of course the Mariners are at Texas. And then on Monday, the Mariners go to Houston, and we'll talk about that tomorrow when we tee up. When we do tomorrow's episode. I'm not going to open too many links here and get into that. Let's just talk about today's game. We have a good game. It'll be at 2:35 p.m. Eastern from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. So it'll be Brian Wu, 8-3 this year, 2.85 ERA, 89 Ks. The righty will go up against left-hander Andrew Heaney, who's 5-14, 3.89 ERA, 152 Ks. He's made all his starts for the Rangers, hasn't got much help, as evidenced by his record, but his ERA isn't terrible, so he's not a terrible pitcher. J.P. Crawford, Mitch Haniger, Dylan Moore, Julio, Justin Turner all have a lot of at-bats against this guy. Julio does not hit him well. Moore does. And then conversely, Brian Wu has pitched fairly well except against Marcus Semien, who's kind of got his number. So watch out for Marcus Semien in this game against Brian Wu. Let's have a good one, boys. The lineups are not out yet. But I would expect a similar lineup to yesterday, although perhaps some Sunday changes to give the guys a little bit of rest before we go down to Houston and do battle at Baby's First Ballpark. All right. Thanks a lot. Tune in tonight.